Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
What is up?
Not a whole lot, man. Enjoying the festivities that are happening overseas.
Oh, yeah, the Olympics? How much have you watched? Have you been kind of keeping? Okay.
Yeah, I watched the volleyball team, American volleyball team, get schooled yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
I watched, I'll tell you what, I was blown away by the gymnastics team, the men's gymnastic team.
Yeah, I've got more on them later this morning. That was a pretty big story yesterday. Just
seeing some of the stuff these guys are doing, I'm like, man, I am out of shape.
Yeah. It's I was watching, they were showing China. I think it was China doing the rings.
Yes.
And that dude, he didn't move. He didn't budge. He didn't twitch. Nothing. It was like everything was solid. I was just like, I don't know how you do that, man. Like, even if I were in shape, I'd be like, no, that ain't
He was
happening.
trained by Sonic the Hedgehog. To respect those rings.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
But yeah, the Olympics obviously going to be a big topic for the next few weeks. I love watching the Olympics because it's not just like the events that come out, you know, like we know about swimming, we know about soccer and some of that stuff. I love the weird sports.
Right.
Like the ones you only see every 4 years. Yesterday I watched women's water polo for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And that's the U.S. team that Flava Flav backed.
Yes.
He completely bankrolled them because he found out like they were working 2 and 3 jobs just to be, you know, Olympians. And he was just like, no, fam, I got you. You know, whatever Flava Flav says.
That was uncanny. I thought Flavor Flav was in the studio with me.
Flava Flav. He just says his name. That's yeah. So that was a ton of fun to watch. They lost to Spain, but they're like 1-1, and they've won gold medals before, so I don't think they're in danger. I watched fencing, which if you have been to Paris and you know what the Grand Palais is, it is incredible looking on the inside. It is basically the French version of what we would consider a massive convention hall, but it is 10 times more massive than you can imagine.
Nice.
Very, very tall, like crystal glass ceilings. And they have dedicated this entire place for fencing. It is unbelievable looking, man. The views inside of there are awesome. But I was watching the gold medal match between, I don't remember exactly what the event was, but it was a guy from Italy and a guy from Hong Kong going at it. And I'm so sorry about this. I could not stop laughing. The Italian coach was my favorite part of this whole thing to watch. It was really close. It came down to the final touch, the final point. And very clearly the Italian coach wanted it bad because he kept complaining. Supremely Italian. And I mean this with the utmost respect to the stereotype. But when he would complain, he would use that, you know, that Italian inflection, and he would do the hand thing, you know, with the fingers, like he was doing the Italian thing. He was doing the thing that people do to make fun of Italians. And he was Italian. So I was just like, it feels okay to laugh at this. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go get some more coffee. I want no part of this.
I promise you, like, I'm not making this up. I was just like, he is Italian, so like.
Am I going to have to bust out "Oh Reliable"?
No.
The views of Meatball.
No, you don't have to break that out. No. But the guy from Hong Kong won, which was riveting stuff. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Man,
do you think, you know, some of these other odd sports that like we could just put together a team and go compete with anyone there?
Oh, I could totally do some water polo.
Yeah.
Because that's basically just swimming in 4.5-foot waters, and then you just chuck a ball.
Yeah, you throw a ball into
big
net.
Time.
And like I'm very wide and buoyant, so like I think I'd be a really good goalie.
You got a solid hockey body.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like I would float there in front of the goal, the net, and I feel like I'd be a great obstacle. So we just need to find, I don't know how many people are on a water polo team. A dozen or so?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we just need to find like a dozen more people to be on our water polo team, and then we got to find some like aging hip hop artist to back us. I don't know, what's ICP doing?
We could probably We could probably convince him.
Do you think the Insane Clown Posse would bankroll?
He's doing a story time tomorrow at the Token Lounge. Might have to go and ask him for a front. Cut us a check.
Can you imagine the uniforms that we would have if ICP bankrolled us as a water polo team?
We'd get kicked out of a country that doesn't even exist.
1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Headline from the Midland Gazette this past week. Older couple makes honest mistake and pays for Jelly Roll's Burger King order thinking he's homeless. Here's the story. Retired married couple Jill and Arthur Newsom were on their Saturday date to the Midland Burger King when Grammy-nominated singer Jelly Roll came into order because he was playing in the area recently. Mistaking him for a down-on-his-luck homeless man, they offered to pay for his order. Quote from Arthur Newsom, "I thought maybe he had a tough go of it lately. His hair was disheveled, marks all over his face. My wife and I volunteer at the local shelter, and he looked a lot like some of our clients." Upon learning he was in fact a famous singer, the Newsoms asked if he had a CD available for purchase. Jill Newsom said, quote, "We like to support artists too. He's one of those with a unique style, so that was an honest mistake." Funny story, right? There's one problem with it. It's not real, completely fake, totally made up. As is the Midland Gazette. Do you follow this page on Facebook?
Yeah, there's a couple of these pages that are just top notch.
There are so many satire sites out there. It's similar to like The Onion.
Yes.
If you know what The Onion is, it is a national satire news site that they write stories, but they are completely made up based off of like just completely absurd things that have to do with like current headlines. Their biggest topic lately has obviously been politics. But yeah, the Midland Gazette has duped a lot of people online because I see people sharing stories from them far too often. Are you like what is your take on satire sites? Do you think they're funny?
Oh my God, they're freaking hilarious.
Okay.
Hard Times is amazing.
Yeah.
Hard Times is easily one of the best. Actually, one of my buddies has a friend who writes for Hard Times.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there are some headlines.
And if you don't know,
they're just on point.
Yeah, Hard Times is like a satire site for like rock and metal and punk music type topics and stuff too. Usually making fun of the artists and the fans of the artists.
Yeah. I feel like if you're just going to blindly share something thinking that it's real and it turns out to be satire, you need to kind of reassess your life a little bit and how you handle things. It
is getting so hard to tell the difference sometimes between satire and real news these days because the real news has become so ridiculous. It's like you used to watch The Daily Show because it made fun of the news and made it more ridiculous. Now somehow The Daily Show is less ridiculous than the real news some days, you know? Yeah. But this stuff I think is hilarious. I wish people would read the actual text sometimes.
Our boss shared this with us and said, "Oh my God, check this out, guys." And I'm like, guys, this is fake.
Well, I wasn't going to throw our boss under the bus on this. I was going to be passive about it, but
gotcha.
You know,
I didn't call them out by name, Meatball.
Well, yeah, but I didn't say it. You did.
I didn't say it either.
No,
what are you doing? What are you starting crap? This is your second day back, Meatball. You just came back from vacation. You're just like, oh, I haven't given Mark crap in a week. I got to get right to it.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the Midland Gazette actually wrote about that.
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frank House.
It is the Daily 5 where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, Mark is asking the questions. I am answering, and I get some help on the line today from Peter. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great.
Awesome, man. You got to help Meatball get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, he will tie the score up. If not, I will take the 2-0 lead to start the week.
All right. Peter, let's do this, all right?
Entertainment. What Ben Stiller movie was shot and almost never released? Was it There's Something About Mary, Along Came Polly, or Envy?
I don't know if I saw Envy.
Jack Black's in it.
Okay.
Not a big Ben Stiller fan.
I remember there was some controversy with There's Something About Mary because it was, especially for Ben Stiller, very raunchy. There were some specific scenes in it that I think they nearly gave it an NC-17 rating, and I seem to remember some kind of hype around that, Peter.
All right, let's go with it.
All right, I'm going to say Something About Mary, final answer.
Something About Mary, final answer. It was Envy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a movie. It was actually shot 2 years before it was eventually released.
Oh, okay.
So it was going to get pushed back.
I guess I need to see Envy.
Okay. Games is question number 2. This one's a little bit easier. How many tiles are in a Scrabble game? Is it 100, 115, or 140? 100, 115, 140.
Man, I wish I had my wife for this one.
Well, usually you play with 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally I don't play because it's dyslexia, so there you go.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just Peter's just making up words and like, yeah, good enough.
Yeah. That's
how
my
I
kind of Scrabble game.
That's right. Yeah. You can come up with the definition. Man, 100, 115, or 140?
Correct.
Does it, Peter, do you think it needs to be divisible by 4?
No.
No. What are you feeling?
Let's shoot for the middle.
Shoot for the middle, 115?
Yes.
All right, final answer. Oh, no.
It was 100 tiles.
100 tiles.
100, okay. So it is divisible by 4.
All right.
All right, still in it.
Now we know, Peter.
Got to run the table here, though. History. And we're on the topic of Olympics.
Okay.
Unlike the 2.5 weeks now, how long did the original Olympics run for? Was it 6 weeks, 3 months, or 6 months?
6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months?
Yep.
I think it was in at least months, Peter.
Yep.
The question is was it 3 months or 6 months? How do you fill 6 months? Because they didn't have skateboarding and breakdancing back then. Like it was.
And
they had chariot racing. They had tug of war, I think.
Yeah. What was that, Peter?
Transportation might be a little bit difficult too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is 6 months too much, or is that what it took, you think?
It seems a bit long.
Yeah.
But I haven't been much help today.
That's
all right. I don't help myself much either.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say that, Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Well, I'm kind of with Peter. I feel like 6 months is a long time, but all right. I'm going to say 3 months, Peter. You good with that?
Let's go.
All right, 3 months. Final answer.
3 months. Final answer. It was a long time.
6 months.
But it was 6 months.
Dang it.
Yes. So unfortunately, could not get the second point. So the first point of the week. So I'll take up 2-0 lead, but no big deal there because Meatball's come back from worse.
6 months of chariot racing and naked wrestling. Like that's wild, man.
Yepper. Well, Peter.
Party on, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Congratulations, though, Peter. You're going to be hanging out for the Arena Rock Show this Friday at Warner Vineyards, man.
All right, thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. .077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
There is a really cool building I just discovered. I'm a part of a Facebook group that kind of picks out and features local roadside attractions and odysseys.
Okay.
And this one popped up on my timeline, and I had to check this out. And right now on the 1077 RKR app, there's a photo gallery of a abandoned building that is shaped like a picnic basket.
A giant picnic basket?
In Ohio. This place is freaking nice.
Right.
It's abandoned, and it looks amazing. And the power is still on, strangely enough.
So what? Okay. So why is this building shaped like a picnic basket?
So the building is actually called the Big Basket. And it belonged to the Longaberger Company, which was a manufacturer up until like 2018, I think.
Okay.
And they basically made handcrafted maple wood baskets and like other home and lifestyle products. But the medium market basket was their top selling product. And this building is 7 stories tall and it's shaped like a picnic basket.
Well, the building is 7 stories tall. You add the handles to it. I think that's another 7 stories or so.
It's pretty close. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it's at least another 5 stories. I mean, this thing is huge. And apparently people in Ohio, like, they know well about this. I've never heard about this picnic basket building before. This is hilarious.
Where is this again?
This is in Ohio. This is about 4 hours from where we're at right now. So we could literally drive there and drive back.
What? Okay, so this was like the headquarters to this business?
Yeah, there was a headquarters to this business, and they closed down in 2018.
Why would you make your headquarters shaped like the thing you make? Because I can't think of anybody else that does that.
Here's the tough part, though. Anybody who buys that building now has a picnic basket building. So unless you plan on making picnic baskets there, like, I don't know. It seems like kind of goofy. Then you're going to have to go through the trouble of removing the handles. Because if you remove the handles, then it's just it's a strangely shaped building.
Yeah.
But it takes the basket part out of it. Actually, if you remove the handles, it just looks like kind of a beige building.
I'd say whatever entity you are, if you buy this building, you leave it a basket. Like, you just be whatever business you are and just leave it a basket. And they're like, well, why is it a basket? Be like, why not?
Well, there's a lot of history there. You know, you can bring up the history. Removing the handles, I think, would kind of be a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to remove the nameplate of the former, company, but removing the handles is like removing anything interesting about your building.
So I'm looking at like this because there's a video of a guy exploring it, that's on the Rocker app too. And I'm watching him go through this, and the main like lobby area is this big open area.
Right.
Like, it reminds me of the inside of a big hotel, like the Galleria or something to that effect, big open, tall area. Why is that big open area not filled with giant food?
I'm not sure.
Why would you
well, it's abandoned.
I know that, but I mean, even when you built it, like, hey, you built a giant picnic basket.
Oh, like they do in malls, right?
Yes. Why would you not fill a giant picnic basket with giant food?
Like the kids' play area with the giant. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Lights itself. I'm telling you. But yeah, this thing is abandoned. You can check out the gallery up here on the 107.7 RKR app. Honestly, this thing is really cool, and it's actually really nice looking. It's not like a busted up piece of crap.
Yeah. Brilliant idea.
Yes.
Turn this place into a food only mall, like a giant food court.
Yes.
All they serve is the food, whatever they make. But in order to take up residency, they have to put a giant version of whatever food they make out in the lobby.
I love it. Well, that may happen because there is one potential buyer. His name is Yogi. I don't know.
107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Hi, we have an opportunity for you to win a 2-year lease on a 2024 Ford F-150.
Or Chevy Silverado.
If you really want that, I guess. I don't know, whatever. The Rocker Rides is going on right now. Your opportunity to win a 2-year lease on those vehicles. Brand new from Tapper Automotive Group in Paw Paw. Here's how you qualify, Mark.
Yes, you can go to WRKR.com or the 107.7 RKR app and click the Rocker Rides button. That will lead you to a list of all the locations where you can come visit the trucks yourself, see them in person, get behind the wheel, see which one you really want to go for, and then get registered. No purchase necessary. Just show up, get registered. Boom, just like that. Also, Monday through Friday at around 8:10, you get registered with Meatball and myself, which, looking at the clock right now, means it's time to get you registered.
Let's do it.
For the Rocker Rides, 978-1077. Caller number 7, you are going to get registered for the Rocker Rides. You could potentially be riding home in a brand new Ford F-150 or Chevy Silverado. And it's all thanks to our friends at Warner Vineyards and Tapper Chevy and Tapper Ford in Paw Paw. 978-1077. Caller 7, you're getting registered for the Rocker Rides.
107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Well, There we go. The orchestra is a little slow this morning. Checking in with the Olympics. Let's do our recap for the day and medal count. Last night, if you were watching in primetime, you saw this. The men's gymnastics team medaling for the first time in 16 years. And the all-around competition includes high bar and rings and everything we were talking about earlier in the show. Incredible performance from all 5 members of the team, which includes 2 University of Michigan athletes, nice. Paul Judah and team leader Frederick Richard. Everyone did a hell of a job, but the talk of the town was pommel horse specialist Steven Nedorosik. The pommel horse was the final event, and this kid went from Clark Kent wearing his glasses on the sideline to Superman when he took them off to compete.
Now, the pommel horse, that is the event where you've got that thing that kind of looks like a horseback with 2 handles on it.
Yeah, looks like and
you're just spinning around on it.
Yeah, it looks like a glorified sawhorse with 2 handles on top of it. Yeah. It was awesome to watch. And literally, like, he took his glasses off and turned into a completely different person. I'm pretty sure he did that entire routine with his eyes closed. This is the only event that he participated in with the team. He was a specialist for it. He crushed it. Got off the pommel horse, put his glasses back on, turned back into Clark Kent. Happy kid. Celebrated with the team. Ended USA Gymnastics' 16-year drought. They got the bronze, Japan and China getting the gold and silver, respectively. So congratulations to Team USA there in gymnastics. Other notable events from Monday, Snoop Dogg commenting on badminton and literally anything else that you see on NBC and wherever you're watching the Olympics. Do not miss any of that. He was calling the steeplechase the other day, and it was just absolutely riveting. Triathlon training event scheduled for today has been canceled due to high amounts of bacteria in the Seine River. This is the second day. The pre-race event has been canceled, so officials are scrambling to come up with an alternative if the water doesn't clear up by the competition scheduled for tomorrow. And apologies to Zhang Haoho yesterday, the youngest competitor in the Olympics. She, not he, she will turn 12 the day of the closing ceremonies. I did not do my research, and I didn't pay close enough attention. She will be representing China for just being 11 years old in the skateboarding competition. And I just learned the greatest news ever this morning. Team Canada used a jumbo jet to transport their horses to Paris for the equestrian events. The name of the plane with the horses on it, Air Horse One. Brilliant.
Oh, Canada.
Medal count for the day as of about 15, 20 minutes ago. Japan in the lead with 6 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze, 12 total medals. France in second with 5 gold. China also with 5 gold. Australia 5 gold. U.S. in 5th place with only 3 gold medals right now. 8 silver, 9 bronze. Leading the way with 20 total medals, though. Today's schedule, 14 medaling events, including surfing in Tahiti. That would be all events. Women's rugby, U.S. likely to medal. We're going to find out after their game this morning. I think around 9:30 is when they play initially. And then they find out if they're playing for bronze or gold and silver. And then swimming tonight, women's 100-meter backstroke, men's 800-meter freestyle, and the men's 4x200 freestyle relay, which the U.S. has dominated in in recent history. And hopefully, dear God, please, hopefully Snoop Dogg is calling some of those events, because I cannot wait to watch him. Like, what event would you want to see Snoop Dogg call the most?
I don't even care. I just want him on there. Listen, when he did the commentary during the All-Star Baseball celebrity game, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, this guy is made for color commentary.
He has done the most side quests of any human being on the planet. I swear to God. Have fun with the Olympics tonight, and we will get you your recap again tomorrow morning. We do these about 8:45 all through the Olympics, and go Team USA. 2 for Tuesday on 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with me, Paul.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Speaking of 2-fers, actually 4-fers, and I guess 7 total. The Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit, soon be vacated as GM is moving to their new headquarters across town. They don't need that much space, so they're taking over a new spot, 2 floors on top of the new building there. But it is going to leave a significant hole in the Renaissance Center, and there are talks apparently of maybe taking down part of the Renaissance Center.
Ooh, that's not good.
Discussions have been of at least maybe two of the buildings. So I think there's two buildings kind of on the north side of or is it the north side or the east side of the building there along the river, that are not, they're not in that building cluster that you see in the skyline. They're just two separate buildings. Those two might be sacrificed, but they're also talking about maybe two of the four towers around the cylindrical center building as well, maybe coming down just because, reasons.
Wow.
They don't need it, you know?
Yeah.
And this is obviously something that is being kind of kept under wraps, but like it got out because anonymous people like to spill the beans and whatnot. But they were talking to the Detroit Free Press and they were like, well, here's the thing. This is going to change the skyline forever if this happens. Because if you take down, you know, two of those four towers around the center of the Renaissance Center, it doesn't look the same.
Right.
And people are going to complain. They're going to be upset. Like, this will change the skyline forever. But, like, do you want half of your skyline, basically, to be empty and old and decrepit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the building was built in the 1970s. And at the time, state-of-the-art, fantastic, beautiful building. And it made Detroit look awesome. And it still does to this day. The problem is, anybody who moves into that building, they're going to have to deal with what was built in the 70s, which is a very difficult to renovate facility. The inside of the buildings they're not shaped normally. So it's very difficult to kind of work the maze throughout the inside of there. And because the outside of the building is mostly glass, it's very difficult to insulate the building. So it becomes an energy issue as well.
Yeah, true.
So it's kind and Detroit already has kind of an issue with some empty buildings that, you know, I'm sure a lot of people would like to just take down. Or renovate or fix up or whatever. What are your thoughts on this as a lifelong Michigander and lover of all things Detroit?
It is. I mean, that it would be very changing, obviously, for the skyline. But if it means there's going to be improvements, there's more that can always be added to it.
And they're talking about, you know, it's not like they're just going to tear down and leave it empty. Like they're going to rebuild something there that's more efficient, more useful, and it will probably, change the skyline. But for the better, it'll just be different.
I'm more concerned about them fixing the city than I am fixing the buildings. You know?
Yeah.
It's like the fact that Detroit was once considered the Las Vegas of the East shows just how far that city has fallen.
Yeah.
So I'm way more concerned about the state of the city rather than the state of one of the skyline buildings.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and something called the Renaissance Center in Detroit right now is like, oh, it's a Renaissance. Not really.
It's like, well, for all this Renaissance you got going on, you got real dark black plague energy out here.
Weigh in if you want to. We've got this up on our social media as well. Story is up on the Rocker app, and call us 978-1077. What do you think? Are you okay if they take down part of the Renaissance Center? Are you okay with the skyline changing? Are you open to new ideas for new skylines for Detroit as well? Let us know, 978-1077, or let us know in the chat feature on
1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
A possible serious situation has just occurred yesterday. And this involves Traverse City. There's some construction going on in Traverse City, and construction crews noticed during the digging that they had found what appears to be a human bone. Allegedly, yeah. They said it appears to be a human bone, and it all took place because the Traverse City Police Department put out a press release that said the initial examination by law enforcement suggested that the bones may be human, but further analysis is required to confirm this, determine if what the bone's origins are. Interesting thing about this, I guess there are forensic experts, anthropologists from Western Michigan University here in Kalamazoo that are actually assisting in the examination of the bones.
Okay.
So Kalamazoo has actually got a hand in this, and they're going to try to figure out where these bones came from.
They're putting their phalanges on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're rubbing their phalangelites all over the trash. That's a word. There was a woman who said that she was researching the history of the Oakwood Cemetery while she was a city employee. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of speculating that the bone may not be from a nefarious situation. She said, I ran across an old notation that said the first few folks who passed away in Traverse City were buried along the bay in the early 1850s before they established the cemetery up there. They said Perry Hanna's first home was situated east of Oak Street and west of Union to set well back from the shoreline.
Okay.
In the area that would eventually become Grandview Parkway 100 years later. So she said it's possible the burial plot was situated west of that house, since he made virtually all the decisions regarding the establishment of the village at that time. So she said it's possible that they may have come across like an early grave site of multiple people, in which case construction may have to cease if that's the case.
That's interesting. Yeah, because then it's a historical site, and then they have to do all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Western Michigan's being a part of this too, because didn't this group solve several cold cases in the past?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
So this is pretty wild. You want to get out the info, or as much info on this as we have is up here on the 107.7 RKR app, and we'll have to keep an eye on the situation. We'll look forward to seeing what the Western Michigan University forensics team comes up with.
I can imagine the excitement whenever, these construction guys came across this, and I don't know if excitement is the right word, but I'm sure they said something like, "Look at the bones!" Seems pretty accurate, right?